everyone, welcome to Backstory Sessions. I'm your host Matt. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Hey everybody, it's Kat, and I want to welcome you to this episode of Backstory Sessions. I'm joined today by my co-host, Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hey Kat, hey everyone, how are you?
Well, Matt, it's a returning guest this week.
Yes, it is.
And one of our favorites. I remember how much we enjoyed having him as a guest the first time.
Oh yeah, he has lots of great stories and, has met a lot of, and worked with a lot of pretty interesting people.
I mean, really, if we didn't enjoy him, we wouldn't be having him back. Probably for his second time.
That is probably a good, yeah.
Safe bet there, I'm thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
But, one of the things I really liked about him is he's so interesting. Like, he's had so many different experiences with musicians, and he was a chef. He's just had, like, a full life, I guess you could say.
Yeah, definitely. He's certainly, like I was saying, he's certainly come in contact with a lot of pretty cool people, and he was in a lot of interesting situations that he took advantage of, I would say.
Yes, I mean, he is a go-getter, he's just like seize the moment, like opportunity knocks once. He's that kind of person.
Right, for sure.
And I like that, I like that in a person, that they just like won't take no for an answer. Just go get it.
Yeah.
Like, remember, I think it was it Richie Havens that, he knocked on his door like all night.
Yeah. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. He was banging on his door trying to get him to listen to his music or something.
Yeah, and it worked out. So, it's just amazing, and I've always felt like, persistence is a very important quality in most things, not even just in entertainment. So he's just fascinating, and he's very relatable too. I like that about him.
Yeah, definitely one of our, one of my more, I don't know, he's kind of inspirational in a way. I mean, he's just done a lot of things, and he just doesn't take no for an answer, as you were saying, and, I just find him really, really interesting.
Well, I know that he's had, in addition to his career that he's had in songwriting and music, he's now added acting to that. So I'm really curious to hear about how that came to be, and also, how he's liking that.
Yeah, definitely some good opportunities for him, and, he's certainly making the best of them.
And it really, I guess, I mean, it wasn't really planned, but it seems like, if we say it was planned, it would be pretty genius. But, he was very close with Ronnie Van Zant and many members of Lynyrd Skynyrd. And we just had Artemis Pyle on as our guest. So, and this also being, the 45th anniversary of the plane crash, I would just like to, know how he, if there's something special he does to remember them on that day, or, just his thoughts 45 years later.
Right, yeah. I know he was, he's friends with Ronnie, as he said, and I think he's got a new video out with Oh, who's the other one? I keep her.
Yeah, Gary
Yes,
Rossington.
thank you.
Um,
I always
yeah,
forget his name.
so and so he's the other surviving member from the plane crash. Um,
Right.
Gary is. So it's just really interesting how that part of the story is continuing this week. And I remember seeing a photo of Ronnie holding Jack's daughter, um, when she was a little girl. So they were very close. And, I know um, that he stays in touch with Gary Rossington and, probably some other members of the band. But he's I can't wait to hear just everything that's going on with him. He's got new projects and new career changes and, just so much. Um, and he has taken a little trip across the pond.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we saw a picture of him with Roger Daltrey, who he's known for many years, but I guess he hasn't seen him in quite a while. But they were able to get together when Jack and his family went to England.
Yeah, so we're going to get to ask a little bit about that. And, we also know that he went to a concert that we also went to.
Yeah, we saw him. We saw him on different nights, but he went to the Eagles to see the Eagles for the first time. I think he said, and it was interesting to hear his thoughts about that. Um,
Yeah, there's going to be so much to talk to him about. So I think we should get right into this interview and say hi to our friend Jack.
all right, sounds good. Here we go.
Hey, Jack Williams. I don't even feel like I need to introduce you or anything. It's just welcome back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a long time. How long has it been?
Oh my goodness, a year at least, I think.
Okay, yeah. When I was around the time Kevin was playing up in Knoxville or something?
You came to Corbin because Kevin Costner and his band were performing there, and we had interviewed you a little bit before that. So
I was supposed to meet you guys there. That's right. I was going to meet you guys there, and you got sick.
Then COVID happened, and
right.
So yeah.
Right. I had
story.
it. I got it 2 weeks ago. And I've never had it. And I was in the studio working on a Friday afternoon, I guess it was, and about 3:00 in the afternoon, and suddenly I just felt like something had slapped me over with a paddle, and I just thought I thought maybe it was allergies, and I got up and took some Sudafed, and it seemed to help for about an hour, and I went to bed, woke up in the middle of the night with 102 fever, and I went down hard for a week.
It's a really strange thing to have. It affects people so differently, and
yep.
I'm glad that you're able to be with us today. So when we talked to you last time,
Kat, hang on a second. You're gargling pretty bad.
Oh, okay. Let's see, what can we do, Matt? What can we do?
Sometimes it's just a connection on the phone. So
you sound good, but she's gargling.
Yeah.
Like that.
Sometimes.
I wonder. It's probably gonna disconnect.
That's better.
Okay. All right. Great. I'll try to stay right here. Okay. So, last time that we interviewed you, you had just released, I believe, your album that had many songs on it. One about your father, and you were making a video for that. And so how did that turn out? Let's start with that one, with that video.
That was Beat Me Again. Yeah. W. Earl Brown, the actor, and also my co-writer on it. He came to town and he produced that video, and it was just a moment. It really was, because it was the first time that I have ever been in front of a camera, a movie camera, so to speak, for real. And of course, we did Wonderful World. Adam did Wonderful World, but I looked at that as at a I don't know. I just looked at that. I didn't look at it. It came out great. Wonderful World came out awesome. I love Wonderful World video, but it wasn't like the big. I didn't have like W. Earl Brown or part of Kevin's team or anything like that. So it was this time I had a huge successful actor and director, and he showed me how I was good in front of a camera and how to get to the places that I needed to get to make that video happen. Because it was about me talking to my father at the graveyard and telling him that he was never going to beat me again from my abusive days. And Earl took me and because I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't getting there to that thing I needed to get to. And then he gave me a couple hints and it worked. And out of that came this, which is just the reason I'm telling the story is because it leads to what's going on in my life now. And Earl said to me then, he said, one day, he said, somebody's going to put you in front of a camera for real. And he said, I'm telling you, he said, and you've got it, Jack. You need to think about that. And so fast forward, we did one of Kevin's closest friends and director, Mark Gillard, and also the producer, one of the producers on his new movie Horizon. He came and had me come out to California, and we shot One More Day video. And again, I was in front of the camera and just doing what I was to be told. So all that stuff was leading up to a new direction. And that's what the Beat Me Again video, I don't know. I don't know if it really ever got to see the light of day. I don't know what happened. I mean, it was such a beautiful piece of work, but I don't know what happened there. I guess I didn't have the right kind of team, or I don't know. It just never saw, which is good though, which is good. I look at that as like, just because it didn't see the light of day then doesn't mean that down the road here a little bit, if I want to pull it back out and show it to the world, I can, when I have a different platform. So, it was really meaningful to me.
I was going to ask, like, on a personal level, how it felt. I know singing it and, that part of it, I'm sure you got a lot of feelings out. But I imagine the video was also another, like, really emotional feeling.
It was. It screwed me up all night long after we did it. I mean, because I hadn't been there, I hadn't been there for 30 years, probably 40 years. I mean, I hadn't been to that place where okay, well, maybe there's been times in my life when I've had a little bit too much to drink or something, and I've sort of drifted back there and got a little bit of an attitude, and I can blame the attitude on that or something like that. But I've really never gone back there, and he made me go back there. I had to go back there, and I had to be there and sing that song in front of them. It was just me and the camera. Well, Brandy standing next to me, and luckily, she had some issues in her life, so we were able to sing that song together. But no, it was pretty hard because I got into that character, and then when it was all done, it ended about 6:00 in the evening, and we all said our goodbyes. And the rest of the night, I was in the most horrible mood. I mean, I couldn't shake it. I couldn't shake the cloud. I couldn't shake anything. But I learned something about that. I mean, I learned a lot about how people get into get into certain characters. They have to find it, and they have to find it themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So did you kind of like have an instant love for the camera and filming? Was there something about that that intrigued you?
Yeah. I mean, well, I've always wanted to do it my whole life. I've always wanted to be. I always have wanted to be an actor, and I've always wanted to be in front of the camera, but I've never done it because um, I did have the opportunity back in the early '80s. I was working with somebody that I was working with an agent. I had a good friend back then. You probably remember his commercials, Jim Varney.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Vern?
I
Well,
do.
him and I were like brothers. We were really close friends, and his agent Betty, she was responsible for his success. We were all good friends. We would go down to Florida every weekend or every other weekend, and we had this little motel in Panama City, and Jim and I would go shark fishing, and she'd eat oysters. And anyway, it came up time when she said, "Why don't you leave me to take some pictures of you?" And she did, and so I found myself at a crossroads then. Well, do I go this direction or I continue songwriting? And I just felt like I needed to continue songwriting because back when I first started in this business, I had Richie Havens was my mentor. We've talked about Richie before.
Yeah.
And one of the things that when I first met Richie, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but when I first met Richie, I mean, I was like, well, I want to be a songwriter. I want to be a producer. I want to be a singer. I want to be an artist. I want to be an actor. I want to be this. I want to be this. And he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Here's how you do it. You find what you're best at right now, and you go be successful at that first. And then when you become successful, when you figure that you've made it, you've got to where you feel like you've really got a good hold on that, then go to the next thing that you want to do, and just keep doing it like that. So I stayed with songwriting, and it wasn't until now. I mean, it's really weird because after you asked me if I had a love for it. I've always had a love for it, but I just never done anything about it. And then, as we get further, then I'll tell you what happened just like a month ago, and that's what everything changed. I had life-changing experience, and everything has become real and like new real. So yeah, I mean, I always wanted to do that, but that video, the Beat Me Again video, it was because of Earl, something he said he saw in me, and that kind of made me just go, okay, well, I'll keep this in the back of my mind.
It seems interesting that it would happen in that particular video with your dad, because I know you spoke before about how he was not supportive or encouraging of you. So for other good things to come from that video, that seems a very interesting aspect of it, I think.
Well, that's really good. I never thought of that. I mean, I've never thought about that, about the video, but you're probably right. It's almost like the video has spawned so many things, even though it hasn't been a big video, it has spawned so many things off of it. So if somebody was to say to me, if by the end of the year or by next year, I happen to be doing something and I've gotten a little tiny bit of success in film, and somebody goes, how did this all start? I think I could probably point back to that video and go, I believe it started there, and then again, like you say, that's almost like giving the dad the bird, like, check this out. See there? Look at that,
Yeah, I mean, that's what first went through my mind as I was hearing this. So, we definitely want to get to the new projects and the new movie and all the things that this video has led to. But,
Kat, before you do that, Jack, can you tell us a little bit about Brandy? Because she was, she's a great singer.
Well, Brandy Zidane is a great, great artist. I mean, I met Brandy Zidane, when I started working with Teddy Morgan, who's Kevin's lead guitar player, when we started working together 8 years ago, whenever it was, and Teddy's also a producer. Not only does he produce Kevin, but he produces various people. And Brandy just happened to be. He was just sitting around telling me, "What I'm producing this this girl Brandy Zidane, and she's like a phenomenon. She's just like a great rock and roll guitar player and a great singer." So we wrote a song with her that's on my it's on my homepage. If you go to my website and go right to and open up my homepage, there's a song on there that says "Runaway." And that's Brandy singing that, and Teddy produced it on her, and it went on her record, and we just all became really good friends. And so when it came time to do this, when it came time to record the song, I said to Adam, I think this needs to be a duet. And I said, because it's about child abuse. Right. And I said, we boys don't own the world on child abuse. The girls get it just as bad as us. And I said, and I think we need to have a girl singing that second verse. And so I called her first, and she was in, and she said, let's do it. So that's how that happened. And so then when it came time for the video, it was like, wow, we got to have Brandy do the video too. We can't go get another singer to stand there. I mean, she's got to sing that part. So yeah, she's great. I mean, she's got a new album out. She's been around quite a while. She took a little time off to have a baby, but she's back at it.
Yeah, she was awesome in the video. A great singer, and it was a great video. Sort of sad and whatever, but
I'll tell you what happened with that video. I'll tell you exactly what Earl told me, because I don't care. I mean, it was like we're standing there, and we'd gone through it. Well, I was like, do I wear a guitar? Do I not wear a guitar? Do I do this? Do I do that? Right. Earl finally said, take the guitar. Let's have no guitar, okay? Just sing it. Well, we went to 2 or 3 times, and I mean, I was singing it. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't. And he was going, man, and then finally he said, let's take 5. And he said, took 5, and he said, let's go. We did it at the cemetery. Let's go for a little walk. And so we went for a little walk, and he said, David Lynch was one of his favorite directors. I guess they had a lot to do with Deadwood and all that stuff. And Earl gave me a piece of advice a long time ago that I've never ever forgotten. He said, and I think this is time to pass it on to you. And I went, okay. He said, I know. I'll tell you how to get where you need to get for this. And I went, what? And he went, just remember how he smelled. Remember what he smelled like. And he went, remember, did he have beer on his breath, alcohol? Did he have sweat? Did he have an aftershave lotion that you can immediately go, whoa, I remember that? Yeah. Right. When he was doing this to you, just remember how he smelled. And I went right there. I could remember the Menon aftershave lotion that he used all the time, and he always had a bit of a body odor about him. He didn't drink, so there was no alcohol in his breath. I could remember that. Right. I could remember that sweat in that minute. And then as soon as I did that, I was right there. I was right there, and I went, whoa, man. And it just took me right down in that hole. Mm. And once I was down in the hole, then it was no problem. Then it was like, okay, I could almost feel it. I could almost feel the snaps on my back. So, right. It was pretty great advice.
Yeah. So, Kat, what were you going to say? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, I was just going to say before we get into those projects, I saw that you had attended the Eagles concert.
Oh, God.
And that was quite incredible, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Eagles have been my favorite group for all my life. And at least one of them. And Don Henley is definitely my all-time favorite songwriter. And so
I love him.
And so when we went, I mean, I went ahead and splurged and said, look, if we're gonna do this, let's do this. And I got us the best tickets that we could afford, and it was, you saw them. So I mean, I don't have to regroup the show, but it was amazing. It was just astounding. I mean, I've seen some pretty big shows in my life, big shows, and some that I'll never forget. But this one that they did this time. It was because of age, because of how old they are, because of how old Don is, and because of the amount of years. Because the night that they played here, he said, in 2 days, we will in 2 days, such and such a date, we will have been together as a band for 50 years. And I want to thank y'all for coming to buying our records and keeping us alive for 50 years. And then he went, and I thought it was so cute. He went, so we're going to take a little break. This was after he did Hotel California and the album. And then he said, we're going to take a little break, 20 minutes, he said, so everybody can go pee. And he says, and then we're going to come back and play everything we know. And damn it if he didn't. I mean, if he didn't, he played every single song that I could ever, and the audience sang along with every single, it was like a bunch of kids. I mean, there was people of all age brackets, but it was just like this big, giant sing-along for 2.5 hours. And it was, I mean, you walked out of there and you were on, I think Kathy and I were, we were on cloud 9 for 3 or 4 days after that. Just, man, wasn't that, you know, wow.
Yeah.
You know, it was like such an awesome, and when you can walk out of a show like that, and after seeing the amount of shows I've seen in my lifetime, they're just incredible. You know, it just was it was awesome.
Did you like Vince Gill?
Of course I like Vince Gill. I mean, I'm a Vince Gill fan from way back. I've been a Vince Gill's fan since he was in Pure Prairie League. No,
I thought he fit in so well in that concert.
What was so funny about it here, though, was where'd you see him at? Did you see him in Tennessee?
Louisville.
Okay, you saw him in Kentucky. Well, here, when they did it here, Don went, well, we'd like to we have one of your family here, and the crowd went nuts. And he went, and you know, we know he's hometown boy, and so we're going to go ahead and let him have it for the next few minutes. And I want y'all to give a warm welcome to your brother. And the crowd kept going. They didn't. I mean, 5 minutes they roared until Don. I mean, and you could see that Vince was just getting a little bit, you know, overwhelmed by it. And then Don came up to the microphone and he said, all right, I think you're scaring me. and he had to calm him, had the crowd, because the Nashville crowd just went, they roared about him. They was just like, yeah, and he's great. He's definitely a great part of that band.
Yeah, in Kentucky, I think he got the largest ovation of the evening as well.
Yeah, I mean, and Stewart, I mean, he's amazing too. You know, they're all great. I mean, it was a great concert.
Watching Vince Gill and Joe Walsh trade licks on one of the songs they were playing, I think it was a Joe Walsh song. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they were having a good time. They really were.
Yeah.
They really were you could see they were having a lot of fun. You also could see it was paced too. You know, you could see Don Henley, you know, he paced that night. I mean, when the hard drums came along, he had a young drummer playing it, but when there was stuff that could keep going, you know, they were very smart. They worked smart, they sang smart. I mean, that's why they could do those shows, you know, because they play it smart.
Right. And hearing the whole Hotel California album played by them was pretty incredible.
It was. I like that whole thing where that lady came out.
Yes.
And put the record on, and then came back out and flipped it over. It was like, and they started. That was like, it just. I mean, I still get chills when I think about when he first walked out and slowly put the record on and put the needle, and it watched it. And when as soon as the needle went on the record, and it went 1, 2, and boom, they started Hotel California. It was like, the timing was so perfect. It like ran chills up everybody's spine. You know, they were just really perfect. You know, it was great.
And then the orchestra, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and Matt and I did not get to see someone that you got to visit. So tell us about your trip across the pond and visiting.
Well, Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend, um, they were the very first people to ever put me on a contract, gave me a real songwriter's contract back in '76 or whenever it was, and 75, 76, and Roger's right hand man, Doug Clark, and I have been best friends for all those years. We've never stopped being close friends. Every time I go to England, I spend time with him, and when he comes here, he spends time with me. And so when I was going to go over there, we were going to take TJ for his vacation, for his graduation vacation. We were taking him to England, then we were going to take him to France for a few minutes to go see D-Day, Normandy Beaches, where D-Day happened. And just so happened that Roger was on doing a solo tour over there, half of what he had started over here. And so Doug put it together so that Roger and I could reconnect, and now they're over here. And then we reconnected, and we talked about a lot of stuff, and now they're over here. And they're on the back half this whole month of October. They're on the back half. The Who is on the back half of their tour, and I'll probably run out there a couple times and see them again. And hopefully, I think Roger wants to do some kind of a solo album, and hopefully, I'll be able to help contribute to that. And he really wants to meet Kevin, and Kevin really wants to meet him. So I'm hoping that I can facilitate that happening. It's kind of tough because Kevin's doing a movie and Roger's on tour with the Who, but we're all going to try to see if we can't make this happen. It would be really cool if we can.
That would be awesome.
That would be.
Yeah,
so,
it really would.
What was it like reconnecting? Is it just you just pick up like where you left off, or does it?
Yeah, it was great. He was telling me about his farm, his trout farm, and talking. He loved talking to TJ, and yeah, it was really great in his shows. I mean, this is the second time I've seen him on tour, and his shows is just not unlike Who. I mean, it's just him and his band, and it's so what's the word? Organic sounding. You know, he's got a accordion, he's got a fiddle player, he's got, you know, it's all different. I mean, he did Won't Get Fooled Again, I think, and he did it with the accordion instead of with a synthesizer, and it was just really cool. It was or Baba O'Reilly, one of the two. I can't remember which one starts off with that.
Yeah, Baba O'Reilly.
Yeah, that's what he did, but when he did Who Are You? I mean, he took the house down. Everybody and the sound was so incredible. It was like watching CSI with the TV cranked way up as loud as you could get it. Roger singing it to you. It was really cool.
How long had it been since you had hung out with him?
Oh, since late '70s, about 4 years.
Wow! So it's been quite a few years.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing getting to reconnect in that way. And so now I think I'd like to really hear about these things that are starting to happen. Let's talk about your video. Because, well, for two reasons. Of course, we want to hear all about that and the making of that. But you had another friend, lifetime friend, that play guitar in this video of One More Day.
Yeah, Gary Rosington. Gary and Ricky both played on the album on two songs, but Gary played on this song. He did this one alone, and Gary and I go back many years, way before the plane crash, and we were really good friends way back then. I think we met when they were doing Nebworth in UK, their famous show where they opened up for the Stones and completely blew the Stones off the stage, and it was just one of those days when it went down in rock and roll history. But so I just I called him up and asked him if he'd play on it, and he said it just so happened at the time it worked out good. They were going to be up here rehearsing for their tour, and him and Ricky would jump over to the studio, and so he did, and it was awesome, and it was just we had 5 or 6 people in the room when that happened, and everybody was just like goosebumps. It was amazing to watch him play, and that. Then when we did the video, then of course I had to ask him again. It's all right if we had some great footage in the studio and everything, and we can. Is it all right if we have you in the video with it? And it was like, of course. I mean, why would I play on your record if I then tell you I wouldn't do that? That's what friends do. And so it was great. It's been that's a piece of, as far as I know, I don't think he's ever played on anything else but Skynyrd stuff or Rossington Collins band. I don't think he's ever done anything with somebody else. So it's been quite a treat. I mean, quite a big moment for me.
Well,
we did that out west, and we just had so many cool things happen on that. Like that dog that's in the video, that's Gypsy, and Gypsy is like a movie dog, and I'd never met Gypsy before. Everybody thinks it's my dog. My dog Lucy's upset with me because she wasn't in the video. But no, her name is Gypsy, and her trainer Britt. The whole time we made that movie, Britt was like hiding in the truck, so with cookies. So and I got to see how they train animals other than horses to do things in movies, and that was awesome. And then the beach scene that's all part of Kevin's beachfront property that he owns down there, out there. Wow. That was a real treat too. So it was awesome. That video led to a lot of things. It was just one of those great moments in my life.
So how did that video all come together? Like, whose idea? Who put it all?
Mark Gillard, who's Kevin's right hand man, and he's also Mark was an editor and has been an editor for Steven Spielberg. He did a bunch of Steven Spielberg's movies for the last 15 years, and now he's co-producer on Kevin's new movie Horizon that he's filming right now. And he just Kevin co-wrote the song with me, and so Kevin plays it with his band, and Mark wanted to do this video, and he wanted to do it as a friendship thing, and he had that whole story line to come up about getting in a truck and heading out and doing what we do, and he put that all together, so it was amazing.
So did you find yourself again, like, enjoying the experience of the video making?
Yeah, I did. I was nervous, but I did, because now I was in a different thing, and I really wanted to do the right. I had a bunch of seasoned professionals with Mark on his team that, that's the thing, that as things progress, suddenly you're in a world with, like if you're a really good guitar player and you've had some pretty good success along the way, and then suddenly you find yourself in the studio with Jeff Beck, you kind of like, okay, well, I got to show my A game here, and I can't, Yeah,
Lord, don't let me screw up.
Exactly. So Kevin, so I've known about this, which led to the movie, because I've known about this movie for quite a while. Most everybody that's close with Kevin has known about. He's had this dream for this movie called Horizon, and it's a epic story of. It's a like 4-part movie, and kind of like Hatfield McCoy's kind of thing, where that was 3 parts. It's like 4 parts, and it's the story basically of trying to begin a town called Horizon, and the trials and tribulations and what it took to do that in 1841 and years onward, and what the trials and tribulations of the pioneers out there, and how it got going, and so it was on that trip. Kevin told me that my wife was there. We were in his backyard, and I was trying to figure out how I could nonchalantly say, "Can I please be an extra in your movie?" That was it. I've never asked him for anything in my life, but I didn't think it would hurt. if I asked if I could be an extra, for God's sakes. He got like there's thousands and thousands of extras in this movie. So I think a cowboy standing up against, standing on a street corner, so standing in the woods somewhere, I didn't think that would be asking too much. But before I could ask that question, he turned around to me and he said, I've got a surprise for you. And my wife and I are standing right there. And I said, what's that? And he said, I've got a part for you in my film. And I about fell out.
Oh,
and
wow.
And he told me what it was all about, what was going to happen. And he said, and this was like a while back. And so I just, and he said, but you got to keep your mouth shut until it happens. I don't want nobody telling nobody. So I didn't. And then about a month ago, I got the phone call, and he had been texting me and asking me to give him this and give me that, give me this, give me that. Suddenly it became real. Suddenly I was having this assistant director call me up, and so was calling me up, and all of a sudden I was flying out. I was going to be flying out to Utah next Tuesday, and I was going to be out Monday. I was going to be out there all week, and I was going to be, do this. And suddenly I'm in this world, in this real world, this big giant set, and I hadn't even seen him yet. I got out there, and I was going through all what I was supposed to be doing, meeting so and the first thing I had to do was I had to go out there and got to get on a horse, and I had to get on a horse with a wrangler who has been working in Western since the John Wayne days. He was even in a movie with John Wayne, and he was showing me what I had to do on blah 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 on a horse, and suddenly, and there was Jeff Fahey, one of my favorite actors in the world. There he was, and it was fun. I'm going, oh my God, and it was like one thing. Then suddenly, here comes the day, I just show up, and we all showed up, and Kevin just made me feel he knew I was scared to death, and I was nervous as heck, because number one, I didn't know if I could do it. Number two, I didn't know if I could do it, but I knew I was going to have to try hard. And then number two, I didn't want to let him down in front of everybody, and because it was a heavy duty scene, so I had to do right, and through that, Jeff Fahey and I became friends through that whole week, and we've been, we've written a couple songs together since then now, and but he kind of helped me. He was an Earl for me. He was like, the day of my shoot, the day of my big scene. He stayed by my side that whole day, and then it was like, and these people that are on this set, these are world class. World class people that are. The stunt director did Mission Impossible movies. Bob, I can go on and on and on. We're talking about major. We're talking about Kevin Costner directing, written, produced, and acting in this movie. And here I am with all these. It's like going out on and going out with. It's like going and showing up for an Eagles, and the Eagles going, hey man, we want you to play acoustic guitar with us tonight.
No pressure.
And you got their road crew, everybody, and you can probably do it, but by God, they're all watching you, and it was, but the moment that it happened, when it went action. Cut. That moment in between action and cut, I had a rush bigger than any rush that I've ever had writing a song, and I knew then that was going to be a life-changing day for me, and then I asked a couple people, I asked Kevin, I asked Jeff, I asked him, I said, what do you think? Is this, should I keep my day job, or do you think that maybe I don't want to be a movie star or anything, by no means, but I was, I watch a lot of TV, I watch a lot of film, I watch a lot of series, and it seems to be an abundance of older guys out there doing stuff, and I just was wondering, do you think it would hurt? Heck no, you need to be doing this. You need to, you need to go home and get some writing lessons so your writing's better. And maybe get some acting lessons just to build up your confidence. But you got it, bud. So I came home and looked at my wife and I said, I'm changing careers.
Wow.
I'm going to be an actor.
What
And
did she
there
say?
was no decision. I mean, I'm still writing songs, of course. I'll never quit writing songs. But now I want to, it's a new, and everybody, I've had a couple close friends say, probably half the world probably thinks you're pretty crazy at your age to go, I'm going to do this now. But, what the heck?
Well, I mean, you're already doing it, like you've already got a role that you win in film. So why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I said, you know what? He gave me a jumping off point. He did a really, Kevin gave me his jumping. He gave me, I mean, I think you can go and say to the next person that you're talking to, well, I just did a film with Kevin Costner directing it, and I have a pretty good part in it. In fact, I'm the last scene in the movie, so the last thing anybody's going to see is me. And so, and it's a pretty heavy duty scene. So, I think that, and I've talked with Jeff a lot about it. And basically, the biggest thing I've got to work on as hard as I can if I'm going to do this is just my confidence, so that I don't show up in an audition and fall apart because of my nerves.
Yeah.
Because I'm not always going to have Kevin or Jeff or somebody by my side whispering in my ear, or Earl going, hey, you can do this. I've got to find that myself. So, but yeah, I mean, if there ever was a life-changing, it's unbelievable. And I believe in, I've always believed in shaman. I've always been one of those guys that, I mean, I go to if you're somewhere and then somebody's reading palms, I'll stop and let them do it. And I've always been one of those guys. And I have a person that she's out there in Arizona that came recommended to me highly. And about 2 months before this happened, she was just reading my cards or whatever. And she said that in August, it really the card said that in August, I was going to sign a contract that was going to be life changing. She said, now I don't know if that means that there's going to be a new publishing, if somebody's going to buy your publishing company and they're going to re-sign. I don't know I just know you're going to sign a contract. It's going to be life changing. Well, I had to sign a contract. I had to sign the SAG contract to do this movie, and that was the contract she was talking about. And it was one of those things where I said, man, how does she even, it was pretty, one of those moments where it's like, whoa. Oh yeah, it was pretty exciting. It's been pretty exciting, and I'm ready to. I'm like a horse at the gate, and thank God I've made a good friend in Jeff, because he's been like, "Whoa, hold up, Nelly. Let's get a couple things. We need you running out there right now and falling on your face. Let's get some good road underneath your feet first, and it'll all happen in due time. Just let's slow down a bit." I would have probably already run out there and tried to get an agent, try to do this, but it was like, because that's how I am. But it's good listening to having a good friend to slow me down and say, you can do this, but you don't want to screw it up on your way to doing it.
Right. So what was the most interesting part of being in a movie? What do you like about it?
Probably I guess the one-on-one with the director and me. I mean, it was crazy. I can't tell you what the scene was about because I just can't, but I can tell you that Kevin, I can tell you that the way he directs it is worldwide known. Kevin is I guess from what I've heard, Kevin, Clint Eastwood, and Robert Rodriguez are the three directors that direct this way. But one of the things, what he does is like so let's say if he wants me to point at you and say, I'm really not happy with you, Kat. If he wants me to do that, what he does is he stands in front of you and he goes, now watch me. Watch me do this. And he'll go, I really blah, blah, blah. And he'll do it. He'll act it right out. And he'll go, watch me again. I'll show you. Now, this time, watch my eyes. And then next time he'll go, now watch what I'm doing with my fingers. And watch when I move my right finger. Okay, watch that. And then he said, now you do it. And then you'll do it. And he'll go, a little too quick on the thing. Back up. And that thing right there, it was having greatness turn you into, get you to do what needed to be done and make something happen. That was my favorite thing about it. It was watching that happen with everybody. He did it with everybody, even with the big star actors he did it with. And I found out that's how, I mean, he's been doing that since Dances with Wolves. I mean, he's been doing it all his life. That's how he directs a movie. And that's why he makes great movies, is because his vision, he doesn't go, get out there, do your job, you know what you're supposed to do, you read the lines, you know your lines, just go do it. And which a lot of them do, you know. They'll just go, get out there. I've been on set with other directors and watched them, and okay, go ahead. You know, they don't give that much, but in his case, he directs every little single movement. I mean, I don't care. Even he'll look over at background actors and he'll go, see those two over there? Get them to turn just a little bit left so that, you know, it was like, that was the most exciting part of it. And the most exciting, it was just, no. It was I don't know. That's all I can. The whole thing was exciting. I don't think I would ever get tired of it. I can see where every time, because you get to play pretend.
Yeah.
And that's what when it finally came down to it. When it finally came down to just like minutes before it was time for my big scene that I had to do. I had a couple of scenes before this, but this was the big one. And I mean, there was 200 people on set, and it was like a circle. It was like a circle around, you know, where this scene was going to take place. And they were all, and like, I was just shattered inside. I mean, it was like, you can't imagine how it was like trying to tune that out. And I mean, I was thinking all these things of like, God, I was thinking about all these movies, like when, even love scenes, you know what I mean? When you watch two people and you realize that there's 200 people watching them, you know,
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
And you gotta, and that was the hardest part. The hardest part, I said to him, I said, you know what the hardest part I had to do? And he said, what? This was the next day when we were hanging out together the next day before I left. I said, you know what the hardest thing I found is, and Kevin said, what's that? And I said, tuning out all that stuff. And he went, well, if anybody ever tells you that they can do it with no problem, they're lying. You know, he said, no one can do that. You know, he said, and when you can't do it, you fake it. And that's called acting. You know, and he said, and you did it, Jack. He said, you delivered. But it was, I couldn't shake the nerves were going to destroy me if I didn't, and I couldn't get rid of the nerves. And finally, Jeff said, let me have 2 minutes with it. Jeff come up and walked up to me and went, when you were a kid, did you play Cowboys and Indians or Cops and Robbers? And I said, yeah, all the time. He said, okay, that's what we're playing. We're playing Cowboys and Indians, just you and me. We're the Cowboys, and, you know, I'm the cowboy, you're the cowboy, and we're just going to play Cowboys and Indians for the next 5 minutes. He said, so, let's go be kids. And boom, the nerves went away then. It was like, okay. He said, it don't matter. They're all there to watch this happen, you know. He said, but only you and I are doing it, you know. And so it was really great. It was a cool moment. Yeah, it was a cool week. I can't wait to do it again.
So when will we be able to see this? When is the release?
Nobody knows yet.
Okay. Well, it's definitely something to look forward to. I can't wait to watch it.
There's a lot of press on it, though. I mean, there's a lot of press on it. Is this a cell phone?
Yeah.
This is a cell phone?
Yeah, you called Cat's cell.
they want to do. Somebody yesterday. I mean, I'm in the, and there's some huge stars in this, like Sam Worthington, which I didn't get to meet Sam Worthington, but yeah, I just sent you a text with the newest up to date, one of the up to date. But if you start following, I mean, there's some big actors in this thing too, and I just sent you a text, and then if you just Google other stuff, every day there's new stuff coming out about it because they've got Thomas Hayden Church, Sam Worthington, Jeff Fahey. I mean, there's a ton of big actors in it, and of course Kevin, but it's a pretty big thing, and they're going to be filming for quite a while. So it's awesome.
What do you got coming up musically? Anything going on? I mean, I know you got the video.
I'm playing the Bluebird, actually. I'm going to play the Bluebird on the 9th of November.
Awesome.
I've never, it's been a long time. I've only played the Bluebird once, and that was as a part of an ASCAP deal. But this is my show, and I've got Shelley Fairchild and Dave Gibson, Jim Moose Brown, and Jeff Trott, who has wrote all Sheryl Crow's songs with her and produced her records. It's going to be a pretty big show. That's on November the 9th. And then of course, I always do Frank Brown songwriters. And that's, Frank Brown is the weekend before down in Pensacola or Orange Beach.
Well, I know, coming up October 20th is the 45th year since the plane crash for Lynyrd Skynyrd, and I know that you were very close. Do you play their music that day, or is there anything that you do in remembrance?
No, I might, I probably always just maybe I might send a teardrop to Gary. I might text him something like that on that day, but it's just something that, it's a day I think about Ronnie, but it's been 45 years, but I mean, I don't do that. I just think about him sometimes, but I always it's on my calendar every year. I mean, it's right on my calendar the day that Ronnie died. So, that's what it says on my calendar. It comes up.
Well, it sounds like that, you're just beginning to branch out into all kinds of new projects, and this is an exciting time for you.
It feels like it. It really does. I'm excited. I enjoy. I mean, I'm in the studio every day now. I'm doing stuff in the studio because I've been writing some great songs with Jeff, and we've been having fun doing that. And I'm just writing and waiting for to see what happens now, where I go to now, and how this next phase of my life plays out, because I don't know a thing about it. I don't know. I mean, I know people who know people. I know if I wanted to right now, I know if I wanted to take a meeting up with a couple agents, I know exactly who to call to make that happen, but I haven't done that yet because I'm waiting to just to talk, just to find out. I just don't want to make a stupid move and then somebody call me up and say, "Oh, we got an audition for you to do this," and then because I haven't got my foundation under me, I go and fall on my face, and then that would not be good. So I'd rather go feeling like, okay, I've done this right, like I've done with my music and everything else. I've always tried to do my homework a little bit. It is a new ball game, It's like if you've been painting houses all your life and then suddenly you decided to take up being a chef, you'd have to learn the restaurant business pretty quick and at least get a feel for it, and at least know who the purveyors are and what a waitress does and what a prep cook does and what a fry cook does, so that you don't go in there going, okay, everybody just do your jobs,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, it's definitely always a pleasure to have you as a guest, and I can't wait to see the new movie and, just follow along with all these adventures that you're on.
Well, I always keep you posted. I love talking to you guys. I love to keep you posted on what's going on. So if something new comes up, I'll let you know. I promise.
Great. And we'll definitely have you back anytime.
Well, thank you all. I appreciate it.
Yeah, all right, Jack. Thanks again, and keep doing what you're doing. You're pretty inspirational to some of us out there. Got a lot of cool things happening, and we wish you the best.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Anytime. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
As always, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can send those to Kat at iwriteplays@outlook.com, or you can write to me at backstorysessions@gmail.com or matt@level11ventures.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.